let's just get started.
Oh, you know, that's a good, that's always a good, you know what I always say?
Oh, I didn't realize there was still plastic to be
No, you did.
before
No.
I said, let's
well,
get started.
maybe you should have asked before because, yeah, I think everybody wants to collect.
Did you brought wipes?
They're not, the way you make it sound is I'm incontinent. I bought hand sanitizer wipes.
Okay.
Oh, you never use anything like that?
No, it's all good.
All right, so you were here, and as I was setting up, I was saying that once in a commercial, the guy was really mean, casting guy. They weren't always mean, but we had to do this voiceover, and while he wanted us to operate the computer, I might have talked about this before, but
Like, just scroll the script or something?
In other words, like, I need you to record this, and I need you to react to this that you're seeing, and I need you to operate the actual footage on my computer.
I bet that audition did not go well for Andy Kindler.
I hated it. He yelled at me at one point because I couldn't get that part of it down. I don't want to be yelled at for any part of the audition he didn't like.
Right.
So that was that. That was then.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you,
from your
why am I
yearly epic journey north.
Well, thank you for what am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Thank you for welcoming me back. I couldn't have done it without you. I mean, I know that I have done it without you, and I can convince myself, that was easier, and oh boy, nobody does it like me. But that would just be a lie. I'm not saying that our mind is melded. That's not what it is. You can write you can't write in any voice that you don't know. I hope you don't do like a whole black street voice character in one of your dramedies.
No, but I did do Malcolm and Eddie for a season. So,
yeah, but did you?
I have a taste.
Yeah, but did you write stuff like "Don't jive me, Malcolm McClarahan"?
Well, you did have to write some slang, but you're very careful about how you do it.
You know what? I'm happy to leave it at that.
I mean, you have to write how the characters talk.
Yeah, I just don't think as a white person I ever feel comfortable knowing how a black person talks or as a woman talks. So that actually leads back into the fact that you can. I didn't
really mean my theory wasn't, well, yes, I can write for anybody. That wasn't mine.
No, okay, well, here's the thing I was trying to say. This is the hard.
That wasn't the position I wanted to defend.
Well, what position would you like to defend? And we'll bring it up.
I'd like to defend the Panama Canal.
Which way? Pre or post? Pre or post? Pre or post?
Post, I'll go.
What does post mean?
I don't know.
We gave it back.
You gave me a choice.
Okay, here's what happened. We gave Panama back.
Yeah.
And then Noriega, why did he get involved? Was he head of Panama? Hey, Josh, really?
Right, let's go north of the border, because this isn't getting us anywhere. So are you happy?
Well, I'm very, very happy right now. Now, I was late today, so, I apologize for that. But after the speech, huge relief.
Yeah.
Of complete, first disappointment after the speech, like, hey, that was rough. First I said to Brian Posehn, that was rough. I don't think he heard me because he's about 5 feet taller than me. I think I said it into his belly button. That was rough. But what I wanted to say was, and I don't know, we shouldn't start off with it, and I know it's not like I want to make this a tribute to you, or even make it that you're like a magician, but I've just never had this experience before. So that's that simple, where I can say these lines, none of which came from me, that I see and I know I can execute, and there would be no way that a person could tell that it wasn't my joke, unless they were going by how well the English was in jokes. Right?
Yeah. Yes. Just because I write concise jokes, you can tell the difference between our material, but they all fit together, I think.
Yeah. And so, like, I knew when I was bringing up bring the funny, I knew I could get and wanted to get a laugh by doing, if you think it means you just might be a Jew.
Right.
I had so much fun doing that. I didn't even think about the examples to the end.
Right.
Too many of them. And that was a mistake I think I made. It's not a mistake I think I made. It was what it was, right?
Absolutely, it was what it was. I will not argue with that.
So
I think here. Do you want my
absolutely,
take?
Absolutely. I didn't want to hear my jaw boning.
From the broadest perspective, I thought you did great.
Yay!
I thought you were, in terms of just being funny, I think beginning to end you were funny.
Cool.
And I think you were as calm and in control of the room more than I probably heard you.
Wow, I haven't heard that to verify it yet.
Your presence was much stronger and less apologetic and panicky.
Right, which is always can be a go-to thing.
Right, but it doesn't help you. You know,
it doesn't help me. You're right, because it's just like saying the first time I said that Jack joke didn't go over. Right. I mean, yeah, it helps you the first time maybe, and
right, but it's like a crutch for I'm not organized. Therefore, if people think feel bad about that, it kind of all feeds on each other. This time, you kind of was like you weren't organized. I know you were worried about that even walking on.
Right.
But you still approached everything with confidence instead of apology.
Yeah, I think the only part that I realized, you're bringing up I think an excellent point, which is the point is that if you say, before I went to therapy, before my life changed, I didn't want any feedback. It's not that I didn't want any feedback. I wanted positive feedback. Sure. And I was open to hearing things, but was open to hearing them in a certain way. And if they hit my ear the wrong, like typical example, whatever it was about the 40 names, it wasn't just, I didn't say we're not going to do it, but you can tell that I'm like already, what, the names. If my first reaction is, well, we can't make fun of this guy, then I'm not really, you can tell I'm uncomfortable, but it's not really with the 40 names list. I'm uncomfortable in general, as if I'm being asked at that moment,
right?
Are we going to do that? And that's just from not working with people for a long time, you know?
Well, process-wise, I think we did good. I mean, basically my process was don't make you actually write jokes at a table with me, but I still got a couple of sessions of talking with you and having it be productive for me to come away with a bunch of jokes.
Yeah, for me, you see, when you're with another person in general, does that not inhibit you from coming up on material, or is it dependent on the situation, or do you always feel like you can separate from, I know what this guy's.
No, if there's, for me, I'm like a dog on a bone. If there's a joke to be had or found, I'm going to be searching for it, you know?
Right.
That's just kind of how I'm wired. That's my favorite problem to solve.
Yes. You're not licking my knees right now, right?
I'm not licking your knees or
right.
looking at your knees?
Licking my knees.
No.
So that's lucky.
Maybe. We do have possums as well.
Infestation. This whole neighborhood is infested.
That's right. Why would a human want to live here?
Yeah, the valley. I mean, not the valley.
What? So, anyway, I don't remember what I was saying.
You were saying that we were talking about the disorganization. But I wanted to say one thing. I think you were maybe at a pause or something. But the only thing I wish I had, not that I wish I had it, but that I can give myself permission to, is it's always okay if I do panic in the sense of, does it make me a horrible person?
Right.
But I don't always have to choose to panic. And a lot of it is from not saying what's in the moment, because I am so self-deprecating all the time, I get hesitant. So I think during that time where I was shuffling around, I could have done a little internal monologue. I know you think that wouldn't have to be so self-deprecating. It would be like just bringing people a little bit into why it's not coming across well. And I don't want that to be the shtick either, right? But I think whenever I bottle up, I have a tendency to then feel awkward and more panicky.
What do you mean by bottle up?
Like if at 50 minutes in or 45 minutes in, it's like, or no, earlier, 35 minutes in, I obviously, because of my lack of organizational
you're running out of shit
skills, I feel like I'm not only running out of things, maybe I didn't see some things.
Right.
And so,
which I think was the case. I think you missed some.
I think I was going to go over that with you at some point, or I'll do it on my own, but did you think of any major chunks that were missed?
Not off. I can't think.
Did I do Comedians Without Boundaries?
I think you sort of got. I think you threw it out. There was a time at the end where you were clearly just like throwing things out of the boat to try to stay afloat.
Well, ironically,
like every random line on a piece of paper got read.
Well, ironically,
I like how you read my note to you about don't do the Jim Belushi joke because it's 10 fucking years ago, as if I wrote it as a tag.
I thought you did write it as a tag. I thought you were taking a bad joke and making it better.
Obviously,
Obviously, I don't think it was a person in there who knew who Jim Belushi was, remembered the show Corey and Jim.
No, my note was, don't do this joke. The show hasn't been on for 10 fucking years.
But you have to admit, it's not that I misinterpreted it. It's not a bad thing. Because Letterman used to do that. It's still a topic, people.
Yeah.
I took that the wrong way.
No, that was a mistake joke. I wouldn't have done that one. So my criticism is all about organization, and I feel like, for sure next year we'll do a Google Doc version so that I can help you, cause like I had set you up from the top and you abandoned that completely.
What do you mean?
Like I gave you like that whole thing leading into the list. That was supposed to be the top of the speech.
But here's the problem with that. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming myself. I'm saying this is what I'll do. I should leave that as is. But what I do is I go, I'll put some of my introductory remarks, like they double treat the hotel. That came later, right? But so I definitely fucked myself by not.
Yeah, and you burned some setups with talking about the guy in the room and then coming back to one of my rules is they shouldn't be in the room.
Yeah, it was all So that was all and that's why afterwards you just feel. The thing is, I was raised to feel horrible about myself if I didn't do things well. It was just, and so horrible about myself all the way on the way to doing things. And what that does is it prevents me from learning. It prevents me from saying, this could be better organized. How can I make it better organized?
I mean, that was the only problem. But again, it all went fine. I think the context of this speech is you are in a room full of people who actually do want you to succeed.
Right. That's true.
And who are there. And the other thing I've really realized is, and that's what I was telling you before you went on via text is like, you've got jokes,
Yes.
All that matters in this room. People don't remember the bad jokes. People remember good jokes. If you're a comic, you remember the good lines. You discard you discard the bad lines because they just, they were just shit that got filled in on between good lines.
Ironically, I needed the myasthenia gravis joke.
Oh, you didn't though. Oh, you don't need that bit. That is the clumsiest way to get to just your most basic self-deprecation. It's not funny until looking at my watch.
I did
it's
great
not, it's
on
not,
Jack. Here's where I'm going to have to.
But you hadn't already done an hour where you'd done four better self-deprecation jokes. In your short set,
that's a solid point. Yeah, you're saying that the premise was already established, but I couldn't end where I ended.
I understand. You know
why?
You had to throw out. It was the first joke that came into your mind after a long ass pause that you couldn't end.
How long was it? Now 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
It was a couple of minutes of fun.
Okay, here's the thing I wanted to tell you.
I think you threw out the Lady Gaga joke somewhere in that fumfling.
Yes. That was just a joke like I meant to check with you before. I think that's a funny joke. And if we had organized it going in, I could have put it into a thing.
So I think even if you're writing jokes that week, I can help you slot it in. I think you're wasting an opportunity by doing that much bullshit at the top.
But the stuff at the top I wrote.
I understand.
But wait, okay.
but there's a lot of, have you listened to it yet?
Okay. Here's the thing. No.
Okay.
I never, now let's go, let's get down to honesty, like we're lying.
Right.
And
I only feel, like I have the rights to say these things because
you have to say
it.
I can't, I swear to God, if I shut this down, you want me to hate myself more? Okay, look. I don't have any knowledge of James Bond movies.
Right.
So I don't have any attachment to it. And I knew the first line was going to get a laugh, but it didn't seem to get much of it seemed like it was confusing to them. I may not have delivered it. But they did but the 100 Enemies and then the auditions.
Well, but the first one isn't a joke. The first one is basically a setup. When I've done as many speeches as James Bond movies isn't designed to get a big laugh. It's designed to set up the
I should say
lines.
don't get upset there. That's where I first felt like I lost them. Okay. And did 007
it's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Even that little attack, the 007 the vaudeville 007 joke got a good laugh.
Oh, of course, because if you can't include at least 10% horrible jokes sold like I'm sarcastic about it.
So here's what I will do different next time. Is I will do the Google.
Do you have to write this down or is it on the podcast?
The Google Docs thing for sure we'll do. And the other thing we need to do, because you have the same horrible habit that I have, which is when you're doing a set with a bunch of new stuff, instead of stopping to learn your new stuff, you keep writing. So we have to do...
That's exactly right.
And I do it myself all the fucking time, rather than buckle down and put my shit together.
I use the excuse the crowd won't get it because I'm in Minnesota or something.
Yeah, it's a horrible habit. So we need to do like what they did with NASA, like the technology stop, where they go, okay, it's October 1974, nothing going into the spacecraft. No technology that was created after October 1974 is going into the spacecraft.
Because
so we're all
crashes,
speaking the
right?
same language. Just so that, so everything's compatible from there out. Nothing's going to have, you're not going to have newer systems that can't back in, So I think we do a technology lockdown 3 days before the speech. And that doesn't mean you can't add anything, but it means that your mission now becomes, these are my jokes. Now I'm going to deliver them the best way I can. I'm going to say them out loud.
Exactly, because here's the thing: the fact is, no matter how you slice it, I mean, if I read everything, well, I couldn't read off a prompter, but no matter how you slice it, when you're reading, even though it's called a speech, it's never as good as when you know it and can perform it.
Right, and when you're reading my stuff, it's a little more cold ready than when you're doing your stuff, because you're
not the Dunham joke. I bet the Dunham joke I had done two or three times.
Yeah, and there was a few examples where it came from something that you were actually passionate about,
and had practiced.
So you could give it, and you had practiced.
Bring the funny I practiced,
right? So so that's that time where those last few days where you're still desperately looking for new jokes is better spent working on the jokes we have.
Especially because, and this is the brings us to the other thing, is that the day before the speech, I got really panicky, and I reached out to you. Here's the thing: I think I've been better this year in general. I was better at not freaking out a lot.
I think you were, but from my perspective, you totally were.
And then so there was part of me that was like, I didn't know if I should reach out to you, but then it seemed like I had to reach out to you because I know that you know about panicking and you know all those things and you understand exactly that you could be rational. Like I didn't realize, I'm taking this Adderall because I'm very tired, but I'm also panicky.
Right.
And so and then you said, no, well, the Adderall will work when the
adrenaline is doing the work that Adderall
exactly
would do.
Exactly.
So you don't want to put it on top.
And then the day of the speech, I mean, I could have eaten a bag of Adderalls like a candy before. Once I was over the hump of, I'm not really saying that, but once I was over the hump of anything, whether it was a stomach ache or something triggering my panic, you can really feel I knew I wasn't going to get sick an hour before the thing.
Right.
I know. I'm powered. I'm going through. This is happening. So, and it seems to be that every year it's either the day before but that's the point you're making. I shouldn't have tried to write that day. I should have tried to solidify.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, I know this, I know it's an ADD thing for sure, but I know that phenomenon completely. Well, even if it's a super fucking important set, I'll still be like trying to write for it.
That's exactly right.
Right up to the thing. Very much instead of buckling down.
Right. And that's the same thing with these
But I think if we have a more organized thing for you earlier in the game and I participate in the organization phase,
right,
which is where you get lost in the weeds.
Right.
Especially since you're doing it on paper, which is a big mistake, I think.
What do you mean?
I mean, stay on computer until you have to print it.
Oh, no, I just printed it. This guy printed at 4:00.
Okay.
I think I went too close to the line in terms of printing it out. I make the mistake.
It just seemed like you had multiple things in your pile from the whole process.
But none of it had been printed before.
Okay.
It was all like, bring the funny chunk. Whatever. If I had 4 or 5 things and instead of don't.
What I was going to suggest you do, and I didn't suggest you do, is just start with a blank document and take off
Put the jokes
and start pasting from the top from all these documents into a single new document and then print that up.
Right, but even if I had known, even if I had been not known, if I had read it and been comfortable when you first gave it to me, I would have known to whatever I wanted to say. See, I guess I was fearing that the 40 powerful people, like that was going to be an anchor piece, but it really didn't have to be.
No, it was to me. It was just like, here's a way to get a bunch of jokes out quick out of the chute.
Right.
All in one. With very little setup necessary.
Well, that's the thing I think is very.
Here's a way to do a list of jokes out of the chute was kind of my thinking.
Well, here's the thing I think is so funny about that, because the thing you had said about people, if you hear, he can't take all the noises out that I'm doing. But please, and a lot of people are saying they like to listen to it back at double speed. But the point is that I remember going into the power list that the first sentence made absolutely no sense because I had separated it from the last sentence.
Right.
I was like, well, of course.
Yeah, no, you went on a tangent in between setup and
yeah,
and
yeah. But so those type of things. That's the thing. Like, I think when I got off stage, I mean, it's not like this get boring, but when I got off stage, I felt terrible, and I knew certain things worked, and I questioned my existence and all of this stuff. But then, as the day went on, people were saying what they felt, and like the original reviews and everything. And of course, Jeff Ross was kind of heckling me at some point.
Right.
But I just felt like you don't know, you really can't be the judge of what the final thing is. I mean, if you really bomb, you bombed. But you.
I just what I know now from doing this for a few years is it's like, if you got 10 really good quotable jokes, then you fucking aced it.
And that's how even practicing.
No matter who wrote them.
Well, that's the thing. Now, let's just say one thing. I know. Let's let the elephant out of the room. Is every joke that was quoted so far has been yours, right?
No, I don't think that's true.
Oh, okay. Well, almost.
I mean, I think that first article, I was like 11 out of 12 or something. But the other article, it went into stuff that you did quite a bit, I thought.
Well, also, if you write something yourself, you can sometimes predict whether it will work. I had no idea that I love the line. I just didn't know that Kevin Hart joke would get such a huge explosion. Because I'm not as astronomical as you are.
Well, what's funny to me, and I mean, is that it almost makes you panic when you get an applause line.
Yeah, I know.
You start speeding up like you're the one surfing. Like you're like, I have to catch this wave and get the rest of this other stuff in.
Yeah,
you left a lot of applause on the table by jumping on it. But all of this is nitpicking.
Yeah,
completely. This is all just analyzing. Overall, I thought you did great. I was laughing a lot, not at my jokes or even.
If you could laugh at it,
I was laughing.
On it.
I was laughing mostly at the non-material, but because that's what I was surprised by. But no, I was laughing throughout, and I thought you did great.
Well, that is really great.
And I feel like the audience felt like that too. There was never any. You never hit a lull that was a stopper.
No, and the thing I'm really excited about. I mean, again, this is. I don't want people to think that this show is going to turn into the things that Andy and Josh do together, or I don't know what I'm talking about.
Once a year so far for 3 years, this is what the show turns into for a few weeks.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is, as I go along in therapy, I realize that I would never actually, if you handed me material, I would never consciously say to myself, I'm rejecting it. But there's anxiety that comes up that stops me from actually seeing it.
And when I talk about that, I'm only upset. I'm not upset that like he rejected what I did.
But
how dare he? No. My disappointment is only like I thought I was making it easier for you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that's the disappointment. Is like, okay, I think I got it so he can go out there and know that he's got a bunch of jokes to fire out right away.
Well, I just think it's pretty amazing. I mean, I haven't written. I know there's like Rogers and Hammerschmickle, and then there's Nichols and May. No,
Robbers and Hammerschmickle. That's the depth of your partnership.
Did the Gorshin brothers play together?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Frank and George Gorshin.
Yes.
It is this is what I'm saying. I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but this is what creativity is. It is if it's indecipherable, what I'm saying and what you're saying, and it's coming out of the same presentation, I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, I wrote it for you.
I love you, my friend. I'll be with you. No, but the thing is, the other thing was,
none of these jokes reflected my my ire, you know. It was all me imagining yours.
Also this year, I want my therapist. I want to thank my therapist because she said the most important thing, and you said it too. I think in the opening part was like when she found out I did 24. This is the 24th. She couldn't believe it. She was like, "You've done this that many years. If you can try to tell yourself, I know I've done this before and I can do it again."
Well, I think that ultimate message came through.
Yes.
I mean, it was like your last Letterman set where I was like, "Oh, yeah, there you finally got it."
Yeah, I knew it would take
that command. That command makes a difference. The truth is you're funny either way. So it's really ultimately making the audience more comfortable when you're more in control.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like it gives them an extra space to laugh because they aren't worried about you fucking having a conniption.
Well, the other thing is that because I'm getting more aware that there's others in the world, I don't know if you've heard about this, like I thought to myself without being reminded, I was like, I need to tell you I'm fine if this is all, you know what I'm saying? Like you, if I told you, if I emailed you and said, I'm having so much trouble, but I actually was so excited about what I said, as if this is all you do. I'm so happy.
Right.
So doesn't that make you feel a little bit like at least I'm hoping that makes you feel more relaxed.
I felt great throughout, honestly.
That's good.
I mean, I honestly, you know, the fact that you paid me this year made it all shift into my work ethic. I didn't have that like, why am I taking this on for Andy feeling?
Right, and here's the other thing,
which it veered into the last couple of years when we had more melty downy time. You know?
Well, but here's the thing too. I actually was saying to myself things like, "It's the best money I've ever spent." You know what I mean?
Good. Well, that's what I want you to think.
It's like part of my fear is like whatever I do, I'm going to lose myself. So I'm always my whole life not wanting to collaborate because for some, I've dealt with it in therapy. But once I realize, say, isn't like this, I'm sure that comics have dealt with so many, writing for comics have dealt with those people who never wanted to pay for anything. You know, like, I don't know if you've ever had that, if it were your early people. I don't know if you've told me stories of that or not. I don't even care. Let's go away from it. But some comics are not generous. I'm not comparing myself like as an employer because now I'm thinking I need a staff. No. But there are people like, I've heard this a lot where not just you, but other people wrote a lot of things for, forget about who they are for.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't want, it was like, oh, you're going to charge me for that?
Right.
That kind of thing. What would you call that philosophy? The Disney philosophy?
There's some egos that believe that, well,
it's great for you.
Quite an honor for you to be writing for me.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And here's the thing I also love about it. When you know there's no way that it can do anything for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I wasn't accredited. I mean, it helped me live, but I wasn't credited on the Roseanne special. I mean, it was indispensable for, Judd got me that money to get me through a horrible time, but I wasn't like, I forget what I was saying. I think I made my point, right? No. Take that out completely? Come on, how come you can't save me from my own petard?
Well, you were talking about how I think your initial point was collaboration always frightened you.
Yes. And I think, but the people who think, I guess I was addressing the philosophy, which I've seen with a lot of comedians, and I'm sure it's with actors, is the, yeah, of course, we're all working for me now type of thing. That's expected a lot in this business and maybe every business.
Yeah, it kind of entourages up a little bit.
I don't know if that's a specific. I know.
I don't mean the show specifically. I
know. Yeah,
but that's what it's sort of.
And it's not just Jews who are cheap. I think you can attest to that.
I can. Most of my business problems have been with non-Jews.
That's the thing. That's where they get you excited when you work with a Christian. You go, at least I won't have an argument about the money.
Right.
Oh boy. Okay. So,
but for me, no. I mean, I thought that, of our three wholehearted working together years doing this was by far the easiest, and it was. And like I said, because it became a professional thing instead of a big favor, it was
right.
It was easy for me to just to get into that work ethic, and it was fun for me. Yeah, it is fun for me to see the article with 11 out of 12 quotes. It's
fun, yeah,
because it means I succeeded.
Exactly. And
it's not like, look what I did. It's like, yeah, all right, you did your job well, is how I feel.
I mean,
it's fun to. I knew those were good jokes.
People came up to me.
I knew that I was sending you out there armed.
Yeah, I heard.
And that's why I was texting you that before you went on, when you were texting me backstage.
Right. And what did you say after? Tell everybody what you said afterwards when I didn't.
What did I?
I was afraid. I knew I was going to.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, it's like after the show, it's like nothing. I get radio silence from you, and I finally texted. You'll text me right up until the show, but then you leave me hanging for 2 hours after.
I guess if I really, it's weird that I actually do believe that people's who care about me, that their feelings will change if I don't succeed. It's just a terrible thing. Because it means going in, you don't trust that people like you.
Well, and it has nothing to do. It only has to do with how do you feel about it.
Right.
That's all it has to. As your friend, I'm on Team Kindler for this speech. It's not like you're on Team Weinstein.
Right, but you set me up. You're setting me up without any interference by you. I go right into. I always have to separate from. I don't want to let you down. You know what I mean? You're not playing that out.
Right.
And almost it's everything that I get upset about.
Yes, I give you 30 minutes of nitpicky criticism afterwards.
Here?
Yes.
I want this is what I want, because I even talk to my people, even, which I've never done.
Yeah.
No, I talked to both my managers, and I wanted their feedback. So one of the feedbacks was like Bruce said, the Emmys come out right before the speech every year, so maybe you could draw from that. I didn't hear anything from I'm not going to do Game of Thrones jokes, but I didn't.
Well, you would if you had a good Game of Thrones.
If I had a good one, sure.
That's the thing. But yeah, yes, that would have been a smart thing for us to look at, just because we probably would have gotten 5 jokes from the list of Emmy nominations.
Right.
So
that would have been good. And then my other manager was saying, I think everybody pointed out that nobody knows who Jim Belushi is. The thing is, it's not that stupid, but because I fall prey to, I just heard this horrible dialogue for the first time.
Right.
I can't believe this show.
Right.
But it'd be like going, and Fibber
and then
McGee,
Urkel says,
yeah, Fibber McGee and Molly.
It was like that. It really was.
And then
I tried to tell you that. And
no, I thought you were adding on that it was the worst joke, but you put it in the same bowl.
No, I put note. Colon or something.
Oh, I thought the note was part of the joke. Note, folks, show's been off the air. I tried to create a joke that I think is impossible to create. Hey, have you seen this according to Jim? This is a terrible joke. That show's been off the air 10 years. Get it?
So yeah. So the other, and the thing that'll also come with the Googling is the editing. Because there was a few things where it's just pick the best 5 punchlines, maybe not the best 9.
Yes, that's the thing. Okay, I knew that the comedians in cars getting coffee I'd never really narrowed down,
right.
But I thought I wanted to talk about it, but I don't think I had that much to say about it.
That was
because I wasn't conveying how he. Yeah,
that was funny notion versus punchline syndrome.
But now this thing about I came up with this. One cliche about comedy is that Trump must be good for comedy. I didn't even do that line, which is, I know I love to crack jokes when I wake up every morning fearing the world is going to end. I didn't say that.
I think you kind of maybe did.
Yeah. Also, and I'll stop after this, but the idea that the speech can feed my act. Feed my act. It was like, I don't know what the example is, but the idea of bring the funny separate from the name of the show and just making fun of it, but the fact that would not make me want to do comedy.
Right.
The idea is like I'm already nervous enough doing comedy, so I think I could put that right in the old act. And certainly the Dunham stuff, and certainly the Foxworthy stuff.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and what do I owe you for that?
That's okay. It's a full time. It's a indefinite license.
I got my first material for next year, though.
What is that?
It's a Solid Gold Jokes, but it was handed out by American Greetings.
Really?
And what do you think they're doing?
What do you mean?
They want you to write as a freelance person.
Right. They want you to write jokes for their cards.
That's their card. So it's like, so I was just thinking like, oh, they want you to do a Robert Crumb career in a reverse type of things. Like, hey, comics, career not going too well.
Right.
Have you thought about greeting cards?
$25 a piece if we use it.
If we use it. And then the other thing I loved about it was, are you ready to share your brilliance? Thought so. Head to American Greetings to get started. You have to go online and it says funny freelance. It's not like you're having a job interview where they're getting excited about you.
Right.
So are you telling me that if a big star like Dice Clay goes to them, that you have the same reaction as when Mr. Andy Kindler goes? They ignore me, but they don't pay attention to Dice? I've done 100 cameos so far.
Really?
Yeah, you know what my price was? I figured I go high, so I'm $50, and it's I have to do a 1 minute. I offer 1 minute pep talks to kids before their bar mitzvah. Are you buying this?
No, I'm just waiting.
Bored?
I'm just listening.
Do you want an example of one I did?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I would hope so.
Hi, Eddie. This is Andy Kindler. I don't know why I'm sounding more Jewish, but that's what I do. I do self-deprecation. What's the guy's name again? Timmy?
No,
Steve?
it's Jewish.
Now, I know what you're thinking, young man. What does this have to do with my bar mitzvah? But that's what's so funny about it. I deconstruct everything. So why don't you enjoy your bar mitzvah? But remember, it's not a... Okay, that was one. Then the other one was like, hi, David.
Is it spicy?
That's right. Okay, the truth is, all I'm doing is it spicy? Hi, Roy Schmecklebadangi. Happy birthday. Is it spicy? I saw the worst movie that was recommended to me by someone I won't say. He didn't recommend to me saying it was good, but it's called, not Jerry Wexler. It's called Sandy Wexler.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Well, I insist now that you watch this movie.
No, you've already, that's a here, smell this.
No, this is everybody you know is in this movie. Judd Apatow, everybody, every comedian you've ever seen in your life. Janine Garofalo's in it. Everybody's in it.
Yeah.
And, for that part of his, in the 90s, was a very nice guy. Okay, so he's creating this character who's kind of I think it's based on Sandy Wernick or something. I don't know who it's based on. It is literally, he does this as the character. Hey, yes, I'm Sandy Wexler. Yes. And then every scene he eats and with his mouth open, that's the running bit. He goes, spits in your face.
By the way, that joke worked. I know you didn't understand it, but the Apatow thing set up the Sandler thing very well.
Did I not even say the Apatow thing?
No, I mean, you did say the Apatow thing, but you clearly were upset that it didn't get the kind of laugh when you just said,
What kind of legitimate performer
but the setup was him going, I'm not going to make fun of Judd because it took him 10 years to forgive me for making fun of Sandler. And then when you got to Sandler on the list, you go, Sandler's on here. He's good. I like him.
No,
it worked really well.
It did work well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I didn't get the connection.
I know.
I just got that. I would
You were
show fear.
surprised
I would
by
show
the
fear
laugh.
there. No, he's good. He's good. I like him. Boy, I could do a good speech if I knew what I was. What if I knew what I was saying?
I know. That's why I think we do the technology lockdown, so we can spend a couple days just examining what we have.
Here's the problem. If I had seen this movie, you wouldn't have been able to stop me from talking about it. And I know it may. I don't know. I just want you to watch 7 minutes of this movie and tell me why Netflix. And I don't even care. I know you said go easy on Sandler. Forget it. I don't care anymore. Adam, I know you're not. I thought you'd use me and Sandy Wexler. You didn't. It's over.
Right. There's no more reason to pull punches.
Yeah, don't say punches because he could punch me. You know, like when they talk about the politicians and he'll stand flat-footed. They're not going to stand flat-footed and trade punches. So stop using that metaphor.
Yeah.
So if you watch this, so I don't care anymore. But I don't want to go back to the old days when I would just want to do every joke about Sandler and I would drive everyone crazy because they were like, I didn't drive everybody crazy. But when you see this, you have to tell me, I've never seen acting like this. It's basically, I think, they're trying to do Broadway Denny Rose.
Yeah.
Because there's all these comedians that you know, millions of them are all saying, Sandy Wexler? Yeah. He was something else. He ate with his mouth open. Cut to.
And is this feature length?
Yes, it is, my friend.
Wow.
Susan and I, because we weren't familiar with how to operate the Netflix through the TV at the motel,
Yeah.
we watched 25 minutes more than we intended.
Wow. Well, check out Andy's speech on theinterrobang.com.
Yes.
Or you can just go to YouTube and enter Andy Kindler's 2019 State of the Industry. Hopefully the whole title is Andy Kindler's 2019 State of the Industry Address at Just for Laughs, but I guess you can probably find it by typing less.
I think you probably could. And again, Jimmy Carr, you can kiss my ass, Jimmy Carr. Kiss my ass. I think first of all, he's hilarious. I think he's always playing with me.
Yeah.
He's like, every year, Andy. Every year. I'll never miss it. I get it. And now I'm thinking everything he said was crazy. I go to some in Norton's. I eat chicken wings. I swear to God, I took it all straight. I think he was pulling what do they call that? Taking the piss out of me?
Maybe.
Jimmy, if you're a man like you say you are, just DM me and tell me what you meant by that. Were you trying to pull my boom boom?
Nice work, man.
Yay! We did it. We did it.
We did.
I have never been more happier than I was. I don't know how you feel.
Your first response was it was up and down. That was your first.
Right. And I've had years.
Then you revised it upwards later.
And I've had years, 2 years I can remember, where once I cried because that was when Mark Maron brought me up, and it was this long room where the people in the back were seeing me on monitors.
Yeah.
So that took a long time to get over because I also was going through just a period of my life that wasn't very pleasant. So
the first 50 some.
I can't believe he's putting me down. Boom, bum, bum, bum. Don't put me down.
I wasn't. I was heaping empathy on you.
That's true. You know, you've heaped so much empathy on me. You know, I think my back is broken. What were you just talking
Well
about?
played.
What was I talking about? Come on, you can remember that. I'm not smoking or anything.
I think we were done. I think we were just talking about the year you cried.
Oh, yes. So I knew. Okay, so that's what I'm putting with it. That within a couple of hours, when people said it went well, I felt better. But then I also just knew that it went okay. And then every year when it's even gone the greatest, there's this one feeling where I start to walk outside, like Susan and I walk somewhere, and I was like, okay, but now is life really that good? You know what I mean? It's like the Woody Allen movie where he finds out that he doesn't have cancer, but then he realizes he's going to die anyway.
Right.
It's like this feeling of, if I get this thing over, I'm going to have the biggest party of all time that's not a good thing to hope for.
Right.
That's not Buddhist. The Buddhist thing is to, yes, you did it, feel the relief of it, but don't think like that's going to change your mood about life,
right,
in general. So, but I have never felt more completely relaxed. It's only been 2 days, but just wonderful feeling.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
it's almost worth it.
It is worth it at these prices. And then, should we talk about the debates, or should we forget it?
We can talk in general about the debates that we
just saw.
This was night one of the Democratic debates. I don't know. I found myself tuning out mentally. I watched virtually all of it, but I just was like, this format is it's talk radio. You know,
it's a terrible format.
It's a whole bunch of people giving 4/5 of an answer that gets cut off.
Yeah,
and I just want this field to be pared down.
I don't know if the thing with Bernie is that I'm still angry at him from last time, or that I cannot believe the devotion of the people to him. But I just think he doesn't explain himself well. He doesn't, I don't care about democratic socialism. I mean, you want to turn it into democratic? I don't care. But give me an argument. I don't understand the argument. And I also don't like the only my way will solve health care. And I really do think they both, like Warren and him, kind of tried to slam Obamacare. It's like people's lives were saved because of pre-existing conditions. I can't believe that that's not acknowledged. Warren said everything we've tried has failed so far. That totally discounts that people are way better off than they were before Obamacare. But
a certain percentage are. I mean, there's still a bunch of people who aren't getting health care. There's still
and there's people who are paying more
of uninsured and underinsured people.
And there are people paying more.
Absolutely.
And they're doing nothing to fill in the gaps, right? Yeah. Like the Republicans. But I just don't understand why everyone is so would they like that name a lot? I don't get it. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat, and I don't want to skin the cat. But to fix this problem, people saying single payer are not better people than the people saying public option. I just don't see the good and evil side to that.
Yeah, I agree. It's an emotionalizing and intellectual argument,
Yes.
Where it really is what's going to fucking work, and what are people going to go along with and not revolt.
But you told me you said Bernie knocked it out of the park, is what you told me.
Is that what I told you?
No. Did anybody impress you that you liked?
I keep liking Warren more and more, I have to say, just because she's so articulate.
Yes.
And she's just very good at being in the moment, and Bernie starts to get on his loop, his talking point loop, his rhetorical loop.
Yeah.
And
the insurance companies, these people. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a longer loop than that.
Well, what else? He's got, oh, yeah. This is the worst line of his line. I get a D- from National Rifle Association.
And as president, I'll get an F.
You shouldn't grade gun violence.
It's true.
I thought it was Marianne Williamson's. A friend of mine tweeted, Marianne Williamson has said so many good things tonight, she should just sage the area around her and go.
That's pretty much what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
So, I mean, God bless her for at least saying the things that she came to say.
But I think Beto made not a big mistake, but I don't know why he ran for president. I don't know why he didn't go back to Texas, but I have no idea why he's running for president from where he came from. And I'm meaning because of... Yeah,
and I tweeted this tonight, and it's really kind of how I feel, especially at this point in this process, that it is hard for me to get over the fact that I pretty basically feel like running for president is a character flaw.
That's true. I can see that.
So when it's 20 people, there's 16 of them. I'm going, why are you doing this? What did the mirror tell you that no one else thinks?
Right. The thing about it is, I do think, and it's hard to get distance from it. In my lifetime, Obama was the president I most trusted, that he was trying his best and telling the truth. And the one big thing is Syria. I feel terrible about what happened in Syria, and I don't know what the answer is, but we probably should have tried to do something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I don't think he was flawless in his execution, but I think he was. There's been no one in my lifetime who I felt was there in the right spirit more.
And all of the whatever you want to say, grandiosity that you have to have a certain amount of that for that position. He does feel like I can do this. I can do this. He has just the right amount of that.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, arrogance is a necessary part of the job, and he has a healthy dose of it. But it was presented at least in a way that I could hear it and still admire him. Obviously, there was a segment of the population that felt condescended to by him.
Right.
But the thing about Obama that's almost tragic is. And I don't think it's tragic. It's not a tragic flaw, but it's sort of tragic is just that his devotion to civility was so ineffectual.
I agree with that. And I also think that I absolutely know that James Comey lost the election on top of all the other crap that was done, 75,000 votes, but all the Russian things. And the New York Times was also terrible too. They said they wrote an article right before the election. The Russians didn't interfere. In New York Times, I don't know, something's wrong with that paper. Not the whole paper, but how much they are both citing stuff. But I think he should have said when what's his face, Moscow Mitch.
Yeah.
When Moscow Mitch said he didn't think we should report on this, I think they should have gone right out. Right, and now maybe that would have made Hillary mad. If they went right out there and they're saying, right now, the Russians are attacking us. Even though they did say something later,
right?
I think they could have said something earlier, very strong.
I think they didn't because they were afraid of Trump.
How do you mean?
I really believe that they were afraid with all of the shit Trump going, this election's rigged.
Oh.
They felt like Hillary was going to win, and therefore they could reveal it afterwards.
What a perfect storm of horror. And it's like, I always get mad when people say, I think this is a very simplistic thing. You go, if there's a God, why didn't he stop 9/11? I don't know. I know there are people who are fundamentalists who believe things, but it's like, my sense that there's something going on in the world is not based on if I think there's some great things in the universe, it will mean no bad things will happen. Nobody who's rational, that's not why they're attracted to spirituality. And I think that's like an argument of a fourth grader. If that God that you like, you know what I think it is? I think like believing in God is feeling that there's a connection to the divine. In my case, it's not really a being, and I don't think it's outside of myself,
right.
But I think there's something we can all appeal to. We can all be Einsteins in our own little way. We can get these things from the environment. And I just think, of course, I'm being defensive about it because of my feelings about spirituality, but that argument is that argument's in the Old Testament, in Job. When Job's saying, hey,
right.
God,
right.
If you're so good, why? If it's in the Bible, don't you think they knew that argument was going to come up? Blowhardy goes back into biblical times. Hi, I'm Blowhardy. Today we're going to talk about Psalms. A lot of people don't know this. The early Psalms were written in Jeremiah.
No, you're thinking of qualms, I think.
And I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I love that we should bring up tonight.
Anybody you love?
No, that I thought it was interesting. Bullock. I thought Bullock had some interesting points.
Bullock points.
Oh, Josh can always come up with a pun. Am I doing? What does it mean when I start doing this stupid voice?
It means your phasers are set to belittle, but you don't have.
Hey, Josh, nice shirt.
You haven't charged the machine.
Hey, Cha-Cha. Hey, Choo-Choo. Hey, Chay-Chay.
Well, I did stuff this week too, but there's just no time.
What have you done? No. Maybe don't we give shorter shrift to the goddamn? These people just there, like they can't leave us alone with their stupid.
There's going to be a lot of praise for you.
Okay, but I still want to hear what you're going to say.
It doesn't matter.
Give me a couple of things that happened. You don't have to turn into a horrible story like me.
I interviewed a Holocaust survivor, and world famous photographer Henri Dumont
That's fantastic. For the show?
for the other show. Yeah,
The other show.
yeah.
I don't know. I can't do that character.
That was very interesting.
So just you one-on-one?
No,
Oh.
Mark Thompson.
And it was great.
Yeah, it was really good.
Who's the second person?
Henri Dumont.
Is that the photographer?
Yeah,
Oh, and the other.
he was all one person
Oh, he's a Holocaust survivor and
famous photographer.
okay, I took it as two people. So this last week is very interesting. I
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, both great.
what's that from?
It's from Alan Sherman.
Can't believe it. After all these years, and when we die, I'm assuming these are the last bits that are going to go through our mind.
Alan Sherman, it's very likely Alan Sherman will be the last thing that's going through my mind.
Well, also, I hate songs like Frere Jacques.
Yeah.
Why do we have to learn that?
Sarah Jackman, Sarah
That's his too?
Jackman, how's by you? How's by you?
How's your sister doing?
Right.
Did she get the do? So is that all based on a public domain
Yes,
song?
yes. His
Okay.
first album was all public domain tunes.
Aha!
My Son the Folk Singer.
My son. Can you think of any songs that Alan Sherman didn't do? How did you feel about these songs that you see kids singing and they seem to be enjoying them? They seem like they're always were terrible songs. I know I'm misunderstanding.
Like what are you talking
Like this
about?
old man, it makes me depressed. But then I don't realize, of course you're depressed. Your childhood, which you thought was not depressing, was very depressed.
Right.
So maybe...
So anything that reminds you of that
Yes,
is
it's not
therefore
this
depressing.
old man.
Yes.
You think that you hate he plays knick-knack on my drum.
All right, now you hate that old man who crushed your dreams with a knick-knack paddywhack.
But are you telling me that there was a guy named Eddie Domain who wrote that song originally? And also, what does that mean? What's the deal with someone's in the kitchen? Who's in the kitchen with Dinah?
Are you doing public domain jokes now?
No, I'm showing you my new delivery when I do characters.
Okay.
Somebody, why do they call it Dinah? I'm sorry. I apologize for you.
Please.
Did you like Hickory Dickory? Did I do those lines?
You did, yes.
That's
The
good stuff.
filthy Zionist nursery rhymes.
What is this? I didn't have time to look up Dome of the Rock. What is it?
Dome of the Rock is the Muslim holy site that sits adjacent to the Wailing Wall.
Hey, Gary, I don't care. Oh my God, I love that joke because you're.
So there's at least a half dozen jokes you performed that you didn't understand.
No, I knew it was
killed.
No, I didn't have time to look it up, but I knew I had heard of it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what it was.
I don't think it did all that well, that particular one. But
I don't think they know. I don't think that's a well-known place.
well, it is if you're
Idiot.
a Muslim. It's one of the holiest sites on the place of the
That
earth.
doesn't matter. You're the idiot. Because you know what? My wife and I were talking about this all week. We have definitely know that in my family, the answer always was, it wasn't your fault.
Understood.
Did you have that? No.
No.
Why was it
My
so...
parents came from that. But they did not pass it on.
They didn't pass it on. That's because why couldn't I have had your parents?
Because I was using them.
And we'll be back with more what seems like banter, but it's just small
It was
talk.
really therapy.
How are you feeling okay?
I feel fine.
Anything else happen this week? Why are you looking at me? I'm so tired of these. Do you know how exhausting the show is with you doing Morse code with your eyes every 4 seconds?
You know how exhausting it is having you wrongly decode my face constantly?
Oh, so you want me to punch myself in the face?
Please.
Can I ask how Clyde is?
Clyde is great.
Okay. Well, do you want to go to a break?
I do.
All right, so we're going to break, and we're going to, and I hope that Josh is not going to once again make me pull the clip. Here's
like a 5-minute chunk. Should
Yeah.
we say? 5-minute chunk of Andy Kindler's State of the Industry Address 2019.
Talking about cheese. I really think this whole DoubleTree Hotel thing is it a prank of some kind? Did the hotel session remodel it? Nah, just DoubleTree it. That'll be good. Has Howie Mandel turned the entire festival into a prank show? Is that what's going on? And what better way to tell comedians they've entered show business than installing an actual revolving door at the front of the hotel? Civilizes. And they say, please go through that door because you want to get the feeling early. In goes a new face, and out comes a what the hell happened to my career face. In comes Carrot Top, and out goes Carrot Top with a funny revolving door prop on his head. In goes Eddie Izzard. Out comes Eddie Izzard doing his act in German. People who know me from years ago know these jokes work. In goes Louis C.K. Out comes his penis. It used to be puppetry of the penis. So Louis one-up puppetry of the penis. For those of you who don't remember, how could you not remember puppetry of the penis? At least they did an actual show with their penis, okay? I said this joke last year, but I still enjoy it. Louis C.K.'s whole career, he used the carrot and the stick. The carrot was, maybe if I hang around Louis C.K., he'll give me a part on one of his shows. And the stick was his penis. I didn't even believe I'm laughing on. I heard it. I heard that a year ago. I just want to say right off the bat that I am no longer interested in fighting with Ricky Gervais. So I now realize we are just complete opposites. I started out as a monster and became funny. Huh? Now you're talking. It's just on one page. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't we keep doing this until I'm 90, 95? Something's wrong with me.
Hey, we came back and we didn't even mention. All right.
It was as good as I didn't know. Thank you for being there.
So
let's go to letters. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go to the letters. Now, what was our? Are people going to react to the last episode? No, they're questioning for now. But did you like the last episode? It was a little shorter.
It was fine.
Oh God!
It's not like they stick with me. What do you?
Can't believe
what do you think I give?
I just would like you to have more commitment to the team.
Andy Gattaca says, Ann Gattaca says, Andy, the ad I hate most is the Charmin Bears, especially the parents who are so freaked and disgusted by their own son's underpants.
I cannot understand why that. I just don't think. First of all, people know they need toilet paper. If you're going to advertise for it, just advertise that you have toilet paper and you have a cute bear, but don't say things like it makes the getting go-go.
All right.
I don't need to know that.
I sort of have a baseline appreciation for the fact that they went with does a bear shit in the woods and like ran with it. They're like, what animals can we go with? Everyone except shits. Well, the bear thing. There's the bear thing.
But it's like when Letterman would say, how's the going? It was a joke. He didn't mean how's it. But if makes going feel better, makes going to the bathroom a pleasure, just stay away from it. I don't mind when they say ultra strong, soft, but they don't say soft for tushies.
You just, if it gets, as soon as they put a fine point on it, you're off board.
Handles the amount of each movement nicely. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that joke.
Andy, just enjoy the go. Guy Incognito says, what would James Mason sound like reciting Rapper's Delight in full?
What does that mean? They want you to do the whole thing?
Apparently.
That's too much of an ask.
It really is.
I said, hip-hop, hippie to the hippie. The hip-hop, don't stop, rock it out. Huh. Hip-hop, hippity-hoo.
Oh, with the hip-hop, hippity-hoo.
Bubba to the bang, boogie, 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 to the rhythm of the boogie, to the beat.
You know what I think's happening?
What's happening?
They're getting a free cameo from you.
Yeah, that's a lot of people banging on my door for free cameos.
That's what they want.
Actually, there's a woman who I'm currently disappointing as we speak because she asked me to record some video for their Mystery Science Theater themed wedding.
Oh my God!
And she like cold emailed me, and then I forgot, and then I said, write me by the 15th, and she did, and I forgot again. And then
sound like me on a project.
Yeah, except it's a project that,
Did you finally do it?
I haven't done it yet, no.
Do you want my help at all?
Sure.
What does it mean that I have to do?
I don't know. You have to pretend you're me.
No. I could stand, hi, you may know me from Cuckoo. Is the money good?
There's no money. That's the thing.
I don't understand.
It's just a request
I don't
from
understand what's
a
happening.
fan of the show.
Not even a friend of yours?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I feel bad about it. No, I feel bad about all. But I can.
And I believe they've asked the whole cast.
Who are they've asked the entire cast? Is it like someone
at least
like
the ones they could get the emails of somehow?
These? I mean, what are these like? Backers or something? What do you mean? Foreign money?
I don't know.
All right.
But I'm not going to feel terrible if I don't get it done.
And yet you have a little tinge of Jewish
I have guilt
guilt.
because of course.
That's what I am trying not to under deliver and oversell. That's a goal for my next year.
I think that's good. Jim Meehan says, congratulations on an excellent SOTI. I took the classic Stones walk-off music to evoke a Scorsese montage saying, "You killed."
I'd like to see footage of that. I mean, not necessarily, but thank you, Jim. Jim's one of my earliest, not my earliest Twitter friends, but it's been a few years. God, why can't I be interesting? That's the name of my new musical. Where did the talent go? Why is there no more talent left? I have nothing left to say.
It has all drained away.
So I decided to make a show about it. Thought I'd make a show about it. Here's my show about nothing.
I watched Cabaret this week as well.
I remember loving it, so I have no idea, but I was a kid, so
Yeah.
I have no idea if it's good.
I guess it's good. I'm not sure if it. I mean,
That means it's
I
not
don't
good.
like musicals, so right off the bat. But it's Bob Fosse, so it's a more interesting sort of.
Is there any musical you like, or you have the same feeling?
Yeah,
about all of them?
there's a few that have busted through the cracks.
I
but
can't think of one now except for Hair.
Do you like Hair? Do you like?
Love it. And I love Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, that's a generational thing.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of friends your age who fucking love Jesus Christ Superstar.
Are we talking about musicals? Because I just realized that I've seen some theater. I was going to go, I've seen The Iceman Cometh. That's not what the topic is. The topic is not plays.
No, I saw Cabaret was the topic.
I played violin.
Liza Minnelli is hard to get behind for a whole movie, I find.
And I don't even really... Is it scary, though? I mean, is it, like, intense?
No.
Don't they get caught and stuff? Or is it about that time period?
It's pre-Nazi Germany. It's the transition. It's pre-war Germany in the 30s. It's like 1932.
But Joel Grey, I bet...
Joel Grey is great.
And who else was in it that I would know?
Michael, what the fuck's his name?
Imperioli? No.
No. The guy who was in Logan's Run, and I'm just going to look because I don't think playing this game with you is going to be fun.
I don't know what Logan... Is Logan's Run good?
No.
But why has everyone seen it?
Because it was a huge movie in the 70s that
Is it action film?
ran on network TV a bunch too.
Is it action?
Sort of. It's a sci-fi movie.
Oh, okay. I can't tell that by the name. Logan's Run. A sci-fi movie should be called Man from Planet Q. It's an invasion of the body snatchers from Planet Brazil.
Michael York was who I was looking for, by the way.
Gotcha. I don't even remember him, but I do remember him kind of.
You do.
Yeah.
He was in a lot of shit in the 70s.
Yes, I definitely... But it would have to take me seeing him again to get a complete picture.
Right.
He's kind of a handsome guy, right?
Yeah.
Or he's kind of a British-looking guy.
I think, obviously people thought he was more handsome than I think.
But you're not. You're straight. Apparently. See, that would be a slam in the 80s. Josh, I think, walks on the wild side a little bit. It's Smokey and the Shmoo all morning long. Homophobia all morning long. You're attracted to another man but afraid to admit it. Bing bang. Yes.
Michael,
Stop doing that, Josh. Let me see one more time.
No, you're bothering me now. We're going back to the questions.
You're not in charge of the show, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, I am.
Okay, take the lead.
No. Okay, let me see No, you take the lead. Okay, you know what? It was all ADD invested.
Yeah.
And then when I look back and they weren't immediately available, I said, I'm not looking at some Wikipedia entry.
Kenny Loggins III says, you two knocked it out of the park with this year's SOTI speech. You too. And how does that feel?
I don't think it's right. Yes, you wrote many of the funny jokes.
All right.
But the thing that was cool about his comment, what's that thing when they say...
Let me finish his comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You two knocked it out of the park with this year's SOTI speech. The whole bring the funny bit was gold. How much pot do I have to donate to the paywall to get a live Spiral show in Denver?
I think we can do Denver.
Sure, make it happen.
The Growlix people know me.
Okay, make it happen.
But
I've tried this before. You say you think you can make something happen, and you don't. So I'll just say make it happen.
Well, I'm not your employee.
I'm not yours either anymore.
Mr. Weinstein, I insist that you come into my... Mr. Weinstein, please come into my office immediately. I have a very important matter to speak to you about, Mr. Weinstein. Sit down, please.
Yes, Mr. Kindler.
Mr. Weinstein, it has come to my attention that you...
I'll come back another week with something that you did. That Kenny Loggins thing was, you know how they say, do you want to see this because it could be offensive?
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be a slam because I didn't see who it was from.
Right.
I think it must have been pot is what triggered it.
Maybe so, yeah. Larry Harold says, Jelvis, how did you spend that fat JFL jokes paycheck? Well, I bought a pizza.
Look, here's what I want to say from the bottom of my heart. I told Josh, I pay him $25 this year, $20. If it's next year, it could be $30. Next year, it could be $40. It's not about the money, I said to him. This is when he had me hanging out of the window. Okay, something's happening to me, Josh.
Yeah, it's really getting incoherent and annoying.
But you think it could be a good character?
No.
Okay.
Because of the incoherence and annoyingness.
Yeah, but maybe you love to hate me?
Larry Harold also says, greetings, you distributors of joy. If someone were to offer you to take you out to the ball game, what kind of ball game would you prefer?
Does that mean we're going to get killed?
No.
What's that? Is it an invitation or take me out to the ball game only refers to baseball?
Right, but he's using that as an introduction to a wider question, meaning what kind of ball game would you prefer to go to?
All right, you go first.
If offered free sports tickets, Andy, what sport would you choose?
You go first, asshole.
NBA basketball.
That's so. I would go to the local women's soccer team. No, I'd like to go to a Mets game. I don't know, a Jets game. Don't look at me like that. I'm barely getting the questions.
How about a Nets game?
Nets, yeah. Remember when I got reamed for talking about Brooklyn? Hey, what's their name now?
Who?
The Brooklyn basketball team.
The Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, Brooklyn Nets. Kiss my ass. There you go.
There you go. Well played. Gargantua, the safety sparrow, says, did you have any local DJs you remembered fondly or not so fondly growing up? I've been listening to the Dr. Demento archives lately, and it's been a joy.
I don't know about you. I was a huge Dr. Demento fan. But when I was coming up, it was Cousin Brucey, Cousin Brucey, Cousin Brucey, Cousin Brucey. 77 WABC, it's Cousin Brucey. This one is Don McLean's American Pie. 35 weeks at the charge with a double baka peekaboo. He was my favorite growing up. I never heard Wolfman.
Yeah.
You never heard the Wolfman right here, now.
Have I told you about the Grease Man? He's the Grease Man.
You'd have.
Whom dang diggy daggy. I know I did. That's why I was being annoying. How about you? Do you have local Minnesota people you loved, or?
There was like beloved teams. There was on WCCO radio. There was Boone and Erickson for decades. And then there was, on FM, there was Heinz and Bergland was a team, morning team.
When I grew up, 77 WABC, I thought it was all over the country. I think Cousin Brucey I thought he was all over the country.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Tom Shad says, who should get the Democratic nomination? Discuss Second City television show. Thoughts on the new Banana Splits as a horror movie. Is Ari Beata spicy? That's a lot of questions.
So there's a lot of questions there, right? You want to answer a couple of...
I think... I'm starting to think Elizabeth Warren should get the Democratic nomination.
Should I go with someone while I still remember it?
Sure.
I think it should. I'm still leaning towards Kamala Harris. I haven't seen her perform yet tomorrow.
Right. I would be very pleased with Kamala Harris. Discuss Second City television show. I enjoyed it a great deal and continue to this day when I see it.
I talked about it with some people up in Montreal because they... and it was like they were telling me bits I had forgotten. Brent Shias, my friend there, was like, I think it's time. I think I have it on DVD. It's time to go back because it sticks with me. Bobby Bittman, Skip Bittman, the Sammy Moreland show, that stuff to me is like priceless. I sound like an idiot.
I got a box set upstairs if you want to watch some.
I think I have a box set.
There you go. Thoughts on the new Banana Splits as a horror movie? I always thought it was a horror movie. And is Ari Beata spicy? Yes.
I don't know what is the Banana Splits was your generation?
Kind of like right down the center between us, I would say.
And they're kind of like the
Archies? Kind of after you, kind of before me.
Like the Archies kind of a thing? Or
no, it was like a live action costume, like mascot costume like thing.
But not ever to do. You see, if I had heard that, I would think of Ice Cream Sundae, but nothing to do with that.
No.
I think my answers have been thorough.
I think so, too. I think we're moving on. Dan March said, if life had gone very differently and the field of entertainment was not an option, what job or trade working with your hands would you have liked to try? Probably chef for me.
So that would be beyond musician, because I was a musician.
Yeah.
With my hands.
We took it out of the field of entertainment. Although, we've heard your music.
That's a joke implying that I'm terrible. Ooh. Something with my hands. I keep going back to like sculpting, and that doesn't count. It has to be something like whittling.
Yes, something like whittling.
Oh, I maybe would like to get into being. Would I like to be a barista, or would I like to just be the greatest coffee person at home? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Okay, so I'll go with blacksmith.
Casanova Frankenstein, welcome back. Always good to see you. Andy, the speech was awesome. I could tell you were feeling confident up there this year. I just loved it. Here's a Twitter header for you. And he made a little Twitter header for you.
Let me see.
It's very nice.
Nice. Thank you, Casanova. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to say I didn't beat myself up, but it's all over now. It's all gravy, so I'm very happy, and I'm happy you're happy. And to my fans in Korea, sit tight.
Chaotic Neutral says, why are there no funny conservatives?
I think is because there's nothing funny about conservatism. It's nothing funny about, hey, you want to hear my right wing? You want to hear my Nazi comedian? Hey, yeah, like I think we killed. Hitler said he's going to kill 10,000 more Jews. Or as I like to call it, Wednesday.
Wow. My answer is because punching down isn't funny.
Right.
Tweet Bahara says Charles Osborne of Iowa died after having a nonstop bout of hiccups for 68 years.
Is that a story, or is that one of those? Is he tweet Baharaing up that story?
It's very possible that he died after 68 years of hiccups, but it's pretty clear to me that he didn't die because of hiccups.
Why not?
Because he had them for 68 years.
They make it sound like he died from it originally.
That's how Tweet makes it sound.
I don't understand. Do you have any concept about what hiccuping is? I do it very rarely, but it's a little scary sometimes. Do you think it's like a tick that you can't get out of?
It's some sort of brain esophagus glitch going on, but I don't know it. I don't know what the technical.
What's esophagus mean? You mean the stomach?
The esophagus is what connects your mouth to your stomach.
In my case, I would call it capital E, esophagus, ESOPHAGUS. No.
You're supposed to say it again at the end.
Esophagus. Ding! I got it right?
You do. You're on to the next round.
Okay, go ahead. I'm the greatest speller in the world. Give me anything. I bet I can do it. You will verify I'm not looking at the screen. Go.
Buttigieg.
I don't know that one.
All right.
B-U-I-T-T.
No.
B-U-T-T.
Uh-huh.
B-U-T-T-A-G-G-E.
No.
J.
No.
K. The second.
Stand By Your Man says a couple shows back you were praising Unforgiven, Josh. Have you seen the 2013 Japanese remake starring Ken Watanabe? Takes place on their northern frontier as the country was starting to really industrialize. Samurais and rifles. No, I haven't seen it, but I've heard that it's worth seeing.
The description of it made me, I was delighted by.
Sounds a bit like Yojimbo.
Yojimbo. I can't believe that I have no memory of seeing that movie.
You didn't see it?
Oh.
I just discussed it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Josh, I love Chunks, and particularly how it's a living testament to this podcast. How many jokes on the album came from the podcast directly?
Oh, that's a good question.
Not that many. I mean, definitely the My Pillow guy stuff is a direct result of the podcast. There's a lot of jokes that I think probably came from my act to the podcast, then back to my act that you're thinking.
Yeah, that
of.
makes sense. Yeah, you talk about cancer.
Yeah, and other stuff. I talked about the chimp story, I think, on the podcast, and a few others.
A chimp story. And I had a chimp for 35 years. I had no problems at all.
Wow, that's fantastic.
We used to sleep in my pocket. It's definitely a good setup.
Sure.
That's easy for you to say. Sea monkey joke.
Dan Wade, 6060842, says, "Hey guys, and welcome back, Andy. I was homesick today, so just like when I was a kid, I watched The Price is Right. Imagine my surprise when the yodeler started singing Karen.
I can't believe that. Yodel lady Karen.
Heath says, tremendous work on the SOTI address. I haven't heard speech that good since the Kings. My question is, how does the distribution of the audio of it work? Does Interrobang have the rights to it or something? Who is your Interrobang and what does he do?
I don't think they have. I think the festival has the rights to their recording. Bruce recorded it too on his video camera.
Uh-huh.
But I think they had the right to put it out first, to have an exclusive. And I don't want to go too far, like really like saying that I'm the type of guy who has a lot of exclusives. So,
but you have the rights to it as well.
Yes.
Okay. Good, because we just played 5 minutes of it.
Oh, when it comes to that, I think it's probably okay. No, I can do anything I want.
Annotated MST says, looks like the release date for The Fiddling Horse is coming up soonish. Will you guys be on the road doing promoting? Also, can you explain how the word fiddling is being used here? My mind thinks Uncle Ernie and Tommy, but that can't be the case.
I don't know. Is this... Oh, okay, well, there is no nudity, if that helps. Isn't that what he's thinking of? Fiddling about?
Well, he's thinking of...
Fiddling about.
He's thinking of pedophile fiddling.
I know. I was trying to soft pedal it. And I'm your wicked. First of all, this song should never have been a song. There's nothing good about I'm going to get into this character for 10 seconds.
Okay.
I'm your wicked Uncle Ernie, and your parents left me to find you. Now I'm doing what I want to. Fiddling. It's bad enough that happens. I don't need a song celebrating it. That was my first bit when I was back in the 60s.
Wow.
I started back in the 60s.
Yeah. I got nothing for that.
I'm done.
Okay.
Did I do anything?
I don't know if we're going to be promoting The Fiddling Horse. We haven't heard.
Oh. We will, but...
We will. But
And we're probably going on the road as the two characters.
Sure.
Oh, no, we're going to be doing...
We're going on the road as the two characters doing The Odd Couple.
I get that twist. We're going to be doing the Sunshine Boys, and we're going to be trading off the parts, and we're going to do it for 15 years at the Sportsman's Lodge. Enter!
Lars J. Oss says, Andy, as a leftist atheist, I don't understand the Sam Harris hate. From you, Sater, Brooks, and Feldman, you're in good company. I don't see it, though. What's the problem? Is it just, sounds to me, about debating with Charles Murray about the bell curve?
No. I don't think it's just that. It's the belittling of someone just because they're a member of a religion, and then that and claiming that, we don't hate the people. We just think that the religion is more dangerous than anything that's going on. So it's that they are ultimately bigots because they're claiming, no. First of all, they say all religions are bad, but they mostly focus on Muslims. And they focused on Muslims just as Trump was coming to power. So in many ways, I mean, they're not responsible, but they're certainly not helping. They, with this kind of like they flirt in a way with this whites, that Charles Murray stuff is basically saying that black people are inferior genetically.
Right.
And that whole field is a bogus field, like whether it's eugenics or whatever. And they try to present these arguments, but the way you know that those people like Bill Maher and Sam Harris and all those people are ultimately proved completely wrong is that Bill Maher said years ago, yeah, there's some white supremacy, but it's not going to be a problem. The greatest amount of things that are happening right now are coming from white supremacy. So I don't think if someone wants to be a Muslim or not should have ever been a point that someone could bring up. I love you people very much and enjoy the coffee. Feel free to take that out or give it to me. You know what? Maybe that would make that into a pod. That's what they used to say on Letterman, that maybe they take my jokes and make it into a pod.
What does that mean?
Like an online thing, like you show things you didn't get to show in the field piece.
Michael O'Connor says, have you ever watched the animated series Archer, created by Adam Reed? And or do you know Adam? Funny series. Also ordered an Is It Spicy t-shirt well over a month ago. Was my purchase dicey? Well, it can be slow going with Zazzle, but a month seems to be at the outer edge. I hope you get it soon.
If not,
contact Zazzle.
Oh, not you?
No, it's not our account. Zazzle licenses our stuff to make sure it's and sells them.
I don't even think I can't say anything about it. I'm very sorry it happened, though.
Yeah.
But I think you were basically going for the joke.
Is it dicey?
Right.
Yes.
And I think that was excellent.
But I hope it comes. Barb says, no questions, but I want to say that the SOTI speech was fantastic. Great jokes. And I don't know what you did to prepare, Andy, but that was the most relaxed you've ever been. It was great.
I am going to it's not a lie, but I saw that earlier because every time I
already liked it.
Yeah, every time I always make the mistake of when I say questions, I forget and I don't respond, but I always think of responding.
Tommy Barcanero says, Andy and Josh, congrats to you both on another hilarious SOTI. The carpool karaoke garage joke and the massage Sopranos ending jokes were my favorites. Andy, do you enjoy the interplay with Jeff Ross? I always enjoy your back and forth with him each year.
I didn't know that I do it every year. Because sometimes it's Todd Glass. Has he been on before?
I don't know.
I don't know. I do enjoy interacting with him, although I have to be honest to say that when it was when I was struggling, he did kind of heckle me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you do the thing? Do your lounge lizards.
I'm actually kind of surprised that there's not more of that, honestly. Just because it's such a predominantly comic audience.
Okay, the reason why I think exactly what you're saying is the reason why I think they need to either make the space smaller and bring up I used to be able to see people better, and it didn't seem like such a huge room.
Right. Well, but don't you get to determine some of that as the artist?
I'm not saying it's of course when something goes wrong, it's almost always my fault. No, we I've never thought about it because there's been different attendance. But the last 3 years I've noticed there's a lot of seats on the wings. There's no reason for that. So I looked at another room too.
Yeah.
It's the Ovation room. And do you think it would be better if it was really compact and packed?
Yeah.
I think that's what we should go for then, maybe. But then Susan was saying, why can't they put some dividers and make the room look? We'll figure it out.
They could, probably.
Yeah.
If they have them.
They have everything up there. They have water and everything.
Greg Kelly says, I remember hearing somewhere that James Mason played Lou Grant on the pilot of the Mary Tyler
That's
Moore
true.
Show.
This is an actual true thing. And did you know anything about it?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember very well.
I hate spunk.
Spunk.
You've got spunk. I hate spunk.
Bubby.
No, it's a different impression.
Yeah, but that's way of me cueing you to do. I want.
Don't worry, it's coming up.
Okay.
It's coming up.
Bobby.
Heant says, hey, J. Elvis Weinstein, if you like sweet tea at all, it's safe to assume horchata is a tasty alternative. Thank you.
What is
This
going
is from
on
last.
here? What's going on?
You have to remember last week's show.
I
for this
remember
to
that
make
we
sense.
talked about horchata,
Yeah.
and I even went home and looked it up.
Yeah. And I was saying that horchata is not for me, and they're trying to say, oh, yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you
But
something.
I don't like sweet tea, by the way, all that much.
I don't think you do.
I like unsweetened iced tea.
I've known Josh long enough to know that when he says he's not interested in something, he's not likely to get more interested.
Thank you. Thank you for getting my back.
I don't really care that much about coffee, Andy. He'll take a couple of, hey, but don't you think the roasting and and that's it. That's it. You're not getting more. And you don't deserve more. You should respect I'm respecting your boundaries.
Thank you. He had second part of her question, his or her question. I'm going to go her because it's also, do you think you can prohibit Andy Kindler from talking about his 25-pound penis from now on? Please and thank you, your old pal Heant.
Is this me on the Nasty Show?
No, this is you on our show, making it into the Nasty Show.
How did the joke go? Was it funny?
It was something with, and I have a 25-pound penis.
Oh, no, that's just
Some,
true.
That sort of thing.
No, that's just true, Josh. Don't you think do you think I like not being able to? I'm trying to think of what would be attractive about that. A 25-pound penis.
Not a thing. Or someone talking about it.
Okay, but let me ask you this. How can you even measure, how can you even figure out how much a penis weighs if it's connected to the rest of your body? Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-bum. Dirty.
So apparently he's not going to stop.
I'll stop that. I don't want to ever, I'm sickened by hearing it again. I apologize. I don't mean to offend, but I often forget that I'm supposed to make people laugh.
Oh, Chris John Colby Garcia says, who is an older comedian whose work you feel has been unfairly forgotten? Someone worth searching on YouTube, for example.
I would say George Miller is one person who I think is just hilarious and definitely underrated, and there's plenty of sets that you could see of his.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Red Fox.
Yeah, because probably people haven't seen that much of his stand-up.
Yeah.
I know, I haven't.
Yeah, he, if you listen to his stuff, it's surprisingly modern for the time it was.
I have to admit now that I have never seen or never seen Checker Green do comedy.
Oh, yeah?
And
I've seen clips only.
But he's hilarious. He's still alive, I think.
I don't know if he is. Charles Nelson Randy did a whole series here that will make you happy. There's a series, they're all, I'll just read a few of them.
Okay.
And you can understand where he's going.
Gotcha.
Hello, Dr. Mangala. Which Coach Knight was best at throwing a chair across a basketball court? Hello, Dr. Mangala. Which Brady Bunch brother was your favorite?
I like the...
Oh, I'm not Mangala.
No. Hello, Dr. Mangala. What was your favorite hairpin? Hello, Dr. Mangala. What was your favorite Kennedy brother?
Bobby.
Who was your favorite singer from the 60s whose last name was Goldborough?
That's in there as well. Who's your favorite Goldsboro?
Is that true?
Yes.
Well, then I think alike like this guy. Geniuses think alike.
All right, and you too as well. Will Pfeiffer says...
Whoa. Sorry, go.
Will Pfeiffer says, I have to say, it was genuinely suspenseful listening to see if Andy would lose the hiccups before the end of Test Show 116. And once he did, to hear if he'd realize it. Now that's radio drama.
How long did it go on for?
40 minutes.
You're joking, right?
No.
And then what happened? You know, I remember blaming myself. You can't blame yourself for hiccups. Do you think I was purposely trying to end the show?
Chris Olsen said, "Hey, boys and girls, love the behind-the-scenes glimpse of the SOTI speech material. Andy, I apologized last week for failing to ask a question that killed your hiccups. I'm hanging my head in shame."
Did I ask for a physical thing?
No, you just hiccuped a lot, and it wouldn't stop.
But someone said that you can take this cherry concentrate. Someone said that's the actual thing. Why am I saying that's it?
He was saying sugar, a dose of sugar.
Dose of sugar.
Yeah.
And why does that work, do you think?
I have no idea.
God damn it. Why don't you get a science degree?
Will Pfeiffer says, hearing the comedians in Cars talk, I wonder if you had any thoughts on Eddie Murphy. When I was a teen, there was no one bigger or funnier, though some of those jokes have aged poorly. Were you fans of his stand-up or SNL work? I was fans of both, yeah.
I was less a fan of his stand-up. I love his SNL work. I loved his SNL work. And I think his stand-up, everything he did was fantastic. I loved everything he did, but he didn't do stand-up long enough, really, for him to be one of my favorite stand-ups. But I loved Raw.
Yeah, and I love Delirious more than Raw.
No. Okay. What's the first one?
Delirious.
That's the one I saw.
With the red suit.
I love that. Yeah, I didn't see Raw. Is Raw good?
Raw's good, but it's a little more of a star trip. But it's good.
Delirious is the one where he talks about talking to Richard Pryor about how...
No, that's Raw.
Oh, it is? I liked Raw then. And maybe I didn't see Delirious. I did notice in Raw, doesn't he have a red suit there too? Or he looks...
He's got another bluer leather suit.
Where's the bit where he talks about how his mom used to want to take him make homemade hamburgers, which was horrible because McDonald's was so much better?
That was Delirious, I'm pretty sure.
So something's wrong. I think it's an LSD
I think
trip.
you've combined both into one.
I know.
But he was great.
He was great, and I see him in the movies too. I love The King of Comedy. I love that movie, and I loved.
He wasn't in The King of Comedy.
No, The Kings of. What's the one where the guy? What is that? Velvet?
Coming to America?
Yeah. You know how horrible that was? Because I went through. Typical white man doesn't understand what he's looking at. Example 4,000. I was exactly into that. And I don't know why I mixed those two up, but yeah, Coming to America is one of my favorite. I just love that movie. I love not everything in it, but what's in it that's great is amazing. And I also love 48 Hours. So I loved Eddie Murphy as a personality. He was like one of my favorite.
Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop?
Yes. Trading Places. I don't remember I don't know if I watched Beverly Hills Cop. Would it work again?
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop holds up, I think.
Where's the one where he's on pretending like he has no legs, or he's on a...
Trading Places.
Yeah. Oh, those movies, I think he is...
What's amazing is he was like 22 or something for most of that. The amount of command that he had as a star at that age was pretty impressive.
And probably you can't think of maybe anybody, or if you could, a couple of more people who would have excelled like that at that age. I think Sandler was older.
He was talking about being on how big an Elvis trip he was on at a young age too.
He talks about it where?
On that Comedians in Cars.
Oh, I missed it. Was it a good segment?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's it's a little.
Well, here's the thing that I think is true about Comedians in Cars, is that
I was too busy being incensed that he was being bleeped.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I don't know why, but I wanted to watch Is that Jerry Seinfeld? There is a part of Seinfeld, and I don't know if it's the Larry David part, it's the combination like Lennon and McCartney, where he is. It's not just observations. It is it is subversive in a way. I think Seinfeld is, or just the fact that he winks at it. So I looked forward to the Comedians in Cars because I thought, maybe he'll translate that Larry David Seinfeld thing. And I think he does establish chemistry with people, but you are left feeling that he does not want to show himself. He keeps definitely a distance, which he does comedically, but I just wonder what's going on. It's like you feel like it's not all coming out. Maybe it shouldn't all come out, but it looks interesting to watch, but then I get bored with it very quickly.
Yeah. He's not a deeply soulful person.
That's why I think like when you make the mistake of, he's a very funny person.
He's a very funny person.
Yeah, so I think that to the degree that I think there were layers to Seinfeld, I never cared about all the different plots that wound up together.
Yeah.
But that relationship, that really sarcastic relation to life and making things actually funny, I really loved in that show. I really thought it was amazing, but it does not mean that. And I liked the comedian. When you love somebody, like I do love Seinfeld. I mean, he's brought a lot of joy to my life that a lot of times I've enjoyed a lot of his sets on shows like Letterman or whatever. So he keeps getting into this zone where he can be in the moment very, very funny.
Yeah.
But then there's this whole other distant kind of guy in a way.
At this point, he's one notch too self-satisfied for me to find appeal in him.
Well, the idea that someone is not qualified to be funny around you is just really a kind of a gross. Maybe I fool myself, but I do not expect that people are going to be funny. When regular people are funny, it's not like I'm filtering it through if someone's trying to be funny and it's obnoxious, that's one thing. But the idea that I'm a professional, sorry, I don't want to see comedy on my day off. Are you in pain?
A little bit.
I can tell that you're in pain. Is it me or your back?
No, it's you. Luke Hawley says, Andy, how many milligrams are your Adderall pills? Could double dosing amphetamines have something to do with your current dental problems? It does make you grind your teeth.
I think you're right. I think he's right because since I've been using the 10 milligrams, and I can do up to 3 a day, depending on how I feel. But there's no question that I was grinding. And since I've had the mouth guard in, I have no mouth pain. It's over. So, and I made a decision, which I'm sure you're happy with, although it's not that interesting. I'm never wearing that plate again when I'm doing a podcast. Couldn't you hear it?
Yeah, we talked about it.
But did you hear it when you were editing it too?
Yeah, you still sounded...
Yeah, I sound different now, right? There's no reason to use something when I'm performing. I'm not eating anything right now.
Right.
So I don't know what I was thinking. He did say leaving it in all day would make it your mouth, because the thing is, the other side is one side's making contact and the other side there's nothing. So there's less pain. But absolutely, I never thought of Adderall that way, but I'm sure it's just like speed in that sense.
Right.
My toe's going right now.
Stand By Your Man says, Josh, I pre-ordered chunks via Amazon like a good Prime citizen, but then the Yoshi's question just reminded me I haven't listened to it yet. Sounds like the drive to work in the morning is going to be chunky. Andy, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good. That sound, and he sounds like, is it he?
Yeah.
Sounds like a person who, I like people who look forward to things like I look forward to Christmas morning, which you never got because you're a Jew, but I wanted to have Christmas. I love when people, I think we can all get excited about things. I know I'm sounding like Tony Robbins, but you get what I'm saying. Why do I feel like I'm broadcasting to you from another area?
I kind of feel that way,
Is it
too.
weird?
Except in another language. You're kind of doing it.
Here's how in my mind. Give Josh a concise answer that moves the show along in a nice way.
That's the kernel? Wow.
Well, no, it's like if your instruction to yourself is just don't forget to listen, that's not going to do it completely.
No, if you keep saying it to yourself over and over, especially.
Don't forget to listen. Don't forget to listen. Don't forget to listen. He isn't talking right now, but don't forget to listen when he does.
Dave asks, what do you think of people who end a statement with just saying?
I don't like it really, but I think that I wasn't around. Let me just say this. I don't like it. Just saying.
All right. I don't like it either, but I'm guilty of doing it occasionally.
I've never actually done it because I'm better.
I don't generally do it. You are so much better than me.
I'm better than you. Oh, I'm sorry. You just said that. So annoying. You got to end this. What do you think we should do? Shoot me?
Nah.
But give your answer.
I don't even. What was the question?
About this. What's the question?
I don't know. Dan Wade says, Josh, like you, I grew up listening to My Son the Folk Singer. Now, whenever any song repeats a chorus for the fourth time, I'm tempted to shout out, members of Hadassah.
I have to. Now you're going to force me back into it.
My Zelda, my Zelda, my Zelda, she took the money and ran with the tailor.
Everybody.
And then, members of Hadassah, my Zelda.
Come on. That had to have been so freeing for Jews to hear people have joy.
I know just how well Jew played.
Right, and just
had to be heartening for the Jews of Middle America like myself.
And Alan Sherman knew that other people would laugh because they didn't know what he was talking about. Because that's also funny. Just the ladies from Hadassah. Shut up, Josh. I'm sick and tired of it.
No, I'm just tired.
No, I don't care.
Of you.
If you can't give me 40%. My Zelda.
My Zelda.
Heart.
My Zelda, she found her big romance when I broke the zipper in my pants. My Zelda, she took the money and ran with the tailor.
See, you also learned to sing from it. Or you probably sang before that.
Doesn't matter.
But
I
that's
learned
probably
so
why
much.
you sing well, because you listened and you practiced. I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay.
My Zelda. Am I putting too much English on it? My Zelda.
Sing a little softer.
My Zelda.
Sing a little softer.
I can't take much more. This is not the time to start into duets.
All right.
They
Well,
look like
Bobby. Oh, you know what? I just got an email before the show that I wanted to read because it'll get you all mad.
Cool. I'm back on the mic.
Brian wrote in, "Hi, TS. It seems Andy is in a bit of controversy as my Wife Hates Me podcast with Rich Voss and Bonnie McFarlane were talking about Andy for 10 minutes. Rich said he cringed when Andy made fun of Ricky. He asked, how could anyone not like Ricky? Rich thought it was a bit. Bonnie said Andy hates him because Ricky hates atheists. Huh?
It's true. There's nothing wrong with this.
Then they proceeded to argue and debate. Are you pro Andy or pro Ricky? Rich chose Ricky. I choose Andy, says Brian.
It was one of those things where I do assume everybody's like me. And so it's just like, you know how you've said to me once, I don't want whatever my thing is. I'll tell you what wasn't a good show. It wasn't, what was it? It's like the Survivors or the
whatever.
Yeah. I'll say. Oh, and then you were like, you said, I just don't like talking about pop culture that way. To me, that's what I got from Rich.
Right. It was the
It was like me, Rich, just like going,
jag.
hey, Ricky Gervais is a fucking asshole. And it's like, but I will tell you this, that Rich Voss likes me and I like him very much and we always have fun.
Right. But he likes Ricky Gervais more than you.
I would make that choice if I was him.
Okay. Then there's not much controversy.
I don't think he's saying who can I do more. It's not like who can I do more. Actually, he didn't have to say more, but he might actually feel that way. He might think Ricky Gervais is funnier than me. That's fine with me, Josh.
All right.
But but I hope there's nothing.
Well, you heard it here first. Ricky Gervais is funnier than Andy Kindler. All right. Thanks.
Don't button it that
If
way.
there's any takeaway from this week's show, it's that.
Well, I hope you'll enjoy another year of the.
Yeah. So, thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com, Zazzle.com for shirts and mugs, chunks for your comedy album needs. And Andy will be in Bloomington, Indiana this week.
And I couldn't. I mean.
What's the name of the club?
The name of the club is the Comedy Attic.
At the Comedy Attic in Bloomington this week.
But it's coming out Monday. Yes, that's true. And I'll also be on. Can I say I'll be on Bob and Tom?
He'll be on Bob and Tom this week.
Yeah, next Friday. And I just want to say,
coming Friday,
Josh, of course, not just because you talk. I mean, it really meant a lot to me that you talked me down when I was. You didn't talk me down, but you.
I texted you down.
Yeah, and I really was like, I'm not going to say I was going to jump out of the window or something like that, but I was feeling really, really bad, and you helped. It was just, you were great. And the collaboration was great. And I know that I'm not going to say anything sincerely, but it was wonderful. I'm just so thrilled about the whole thing, and I'm going to sleep for about a month.
Well, you earned it.
Thank you. Also, I want to say, can I give a couple of shout outs?
Please.
To Beverly Hills Chevy. You got it, baby. Also to Buick LeSabre.
Yesterday was Gail Simone's birthday. Happy birthday, Gail Simone.
Happy birthday, Gail Simone.
And happy birthday to all of you. Thanks for doing it.
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay,
well, I'd like to say one more thing. If you can think of a good way to end the show.
I liked you thanking me. That was cool.
Okay, we can go out there.
But
if I bring it up, hey, you know what I liked the best on the show today?
What was that?
Me thanking you, because you know why?
What's that?
You make chicken great.
I make great chicken.